Okie dokie. Good afternoon. It is 5 to 2 on a Thursday afternoon. Today we're going to be discussing honey, specifically raw honey, and its benefits for your health, as well as the environment, local businesses, all that good stuff. First off, just get straight into the video. What's the difference between raw honey and commercial, normal honey you buy in the shop? It's very simple. Raw honey is honey that has been taken out of the hive, preferably from a beekeeper, and obviously they scrape the comb, and all that honey, the only process it goes through is it gets filtered through a very fine mesh or something like a cheesecloth, just to extract the liquid from all the solids. So you can have dead bees, parts of the honeycomb, parts of the hive, all sorts of larger things you don't want to be eating in your honey, and you extract just a raw form of liquid. No heating, pasteurization, anything like that. It's just honey. So to compare that to the honey you buy in the shop, that can be pasteurized up to like well over 100 degrees. It can be ultra filtered, so they run it through loads of different very fine machinery, and that can extract some of the like essential vitamins and propolis, things like that. We're going to discuss that shortly. But it can extract some of the beneficial compounds you're looking for in your honey. So we don't really want to be getting commercial honey, which again, it can be bulked out with all sorts of nonsense, such as general fillers like sugars and sweeteners to improve the flavour, because once you've stripped out all that lovely stuff, it's not going to taste as nutritional and as nice, so they've got to add stuff back into it, and it makes it cheaper. You're not buying the same product as if you'd gone down the road to John Smith, who has his own hives and he sells a jar for a £5 out the front of his house. That stuff is going to be so much better for you, and not only are you supporting John Smith down the road, who's selling £5 a jar, you're also supporting your local environment. All those bees are going to be benefiting the plants in your area, and we're going to get onto the benefits shortly of allergens. If you suffer, like myself, from things like hay fever, I know, so cringe. Trees and plants are my enemy. Spend so much time outside, and yet I'm allergic to pollen. It's luck of the draw. These things do happen. So, as I was saying, raw honey gets strained through a bit of cheesecloth. That's it, done. Regular commercial honey, they add stuff to it like sugar, maybe water, sweeteners. They pasteurize it, filter it to a really fine level. It makes it smoother, but they're taking out some of that beneficial compounds that we're after. So, I should mention, the pasteurization and stuff, it's not like an evil scheme to ruin your honey. It's simply to increase the shelf life, which again is a benefit, but it's at a cost of the nutritional quality you could be getting should you just get local honey that's not had any processes other than simple filtering. So, I'm only going to discuss the benefits of local raw honey because that's the better option of the two. I'm not going to go into the benefits. There will still be some benefits to regular honey, just not as many, and not as like the benefits will be greater of the raw stuff. So to get straight into it, we're going to talk about the anti-allergy effects of got some notes. Anti-allergy effects of raw honey as opposed to, well, as again, we're not going to be discussing the other stuff, so we're just talking about nice raw honey. I've actually got a jar of the stuff with me here. Look at that. Look at the colour. It's got a nice little sticker on the top. Turn it around. You can't actually read that. It's not focusing. It says direct from the producer. Nice little sticker. Tells you all about it. So, in local raw honey, there is a compound called quercetin, which reduces inflammation caused by allergies as well as preventing symptoms. This speaks for itself. If you've got allergies for hay fever and you start ingesting, this broken down pollen that the bees have, graciously produced for us, and all these like nice sugars, enzymes, vitamins, minerals. I should include the vitamins and minerals and enzymes. They are in trace amounts, so like things like amino acids. There's a few amino acids in there, but it's not like you shouldn't be using you shouldn't be using honey as a protein source. It's not like these vitamins and minerals are trace trace amounts from the pollen. However, what you will be looking to get from the raw honey is the anti-allergy effects from that compound I'd mentioned, reducing the inflammation as well, all great things. Inflammation that gets caused by allergies, mind. So, now we're discussing your immune system. Bee pollen as well as bee propolis, two compounds that are very high in honey, as you'd probably imagine. Both aid the immune system and build resistance to allergens, as mentioned before. If you suffer with allergies and you're buying this nice raw local honey that's got the same pollen as the plants in your area, some of which are going to be causing you your allergies. Like, I'm not allergic to every plant. I couldn't tell you what plants I am allergic to, but the pollen of certain plants, because I only get it at certain times of the year. So certain plants, when they're flowering, pollinating, when that's flying around, those are the ones that are going to be causing your allergies. So if you're getting honey that contains the pollen of those, and it's in a form that your body can then, recognize, and it starts to reduce the symptoms of your allergens, that's a win-win for everybody. Now, we're now going to be discussing wounds. So if you cut yourself, perhaps you're a rugby player, you get tackled, scrape your leg up, just take your jar of honey that's in your bag, obviously, lather it up, slap it on your hand or your leg or whatever's scratched up. Job's a good one. You're gonna be healed in no time. So, honey is high in sugar, which bacteria can't thrive in, as well as having the compounds hydrogen peroxide and propolis, which are great for their antiseptic properties. Again, prevents bacteria, going to improve the healing of these wounds, as well as reducing the likelihood of infection. All pluses, all benefits. The last one I'll discuss in brief, because I have found some conflicting, when I researched this one, because I looked into it and I thought, I'm going to look at a couple different websites for this. So there's claims that it can improve like face wrinkles as well as blemishes and reduce the redness of the skin because it can draw out excess fluid. Now, there was conflicting things on this. Some like health and beauty pages were saying that you just need to stick to traditional medicine. Personally, I disagree. I think if there are potential benefits of the honey and it's a natural alternative, just go for the natural, even if it isn't as die-hard effective as lathering your face up in random pharmaceutical chemicals that can somehow magically get rid of your spots. They tend to have, there can be side effects. You can have all sorts of issues with taking these harsh medications. Natural alternative, it's right there. It's worth a try. It's worth a mention for this video. It's not going to be like I don't believe at least it's going to be the magic thing that can clear faces up. However, upon realising, because I didn't know this until I'd done the research for this video, upon realising this, I'm actually going to try this. You can see, you can't really see my face too well. I mean, I can move the camera for you. Like, I do have like blemishes, redness, spots, blackheads. I don't have perfect skin, unfortunately. I eat a good diet. I try and do things that improve the health of my skin. My skin is a lot better than it has been. However, upon finding this out, I'm going to case study myself, because I already, wash my face twice a day, all that good stuff. However, I'm going to incorporate this a couple times a week. I also read that combining raw honey with cinnamon can help get rid of the bacteria that can cause and irritate spots and skin. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. I'm uploading daily currently, 3 days in. So we'll see how that goes. I would like to feedback on you and let you know whether the honey has any effect on my skin. I think that's interesting, because I've always steered clear of traditional medicine. Like, I've been offered acne medication prior. I don't want to take it. I'd rather have spots and suffer and either grow out of it because I'm a teenager or find the natural alternative that works for me. Last thing I want to cover is, if you're buying a local product that comes down the road or even just in a village nearby, if you're buying something that comes from real people, that the quality for a start is going to be up here. The quality of the food, because they're real people, they're real families. They're producing this not only for you, the guy who drives past and buys it for a £5. They're producing it for their families and for a hobby, and they're looking after these bees, and these bees in turn look after them. They pollinate all the flowers in the area, which is a win, and there's a very low likelihood of any harsh chemicals being used you know, in the production of this honey. If you're looking at these mass scale honey farms, they, you know, they got to import all these flowers and stuff, and they've got to perhaps the honeybees, even on this commercial scale, we're talking like big industries, you know, the farming industry, it's terrible. They most likely, what's it called, spray pesticides on these flower fields to keep off natural competition, and then they'll release the honeybees so that they maximize, you know, honey yields whilst destroying the natural environment, destroying natural bug populations, all in the name of maximizing profits. This isn't what we pay for. We pay for, you know, natural high quality honey, and you can get it from local people. You keep the money circulating in your town, and you get something back. You get a good quality product, and the people producing it, they get the satisfaction of getting a bit of money for what they do. Beekeeping is very difficult. I've tried to look into it. It's very complicated how they. I'm not even going to try. I'm not going to try. I've got friends that have told me about it. Their families do it, and you know, their families have done it. I don't currently. I'd be lying to you if I said I knew anyone who right now their family keeps bees. Well, I do actually know people, but I'm not friends with them. But my friends, you know, their family, their grandparents have kept bees, all this stuff, and they've all told me it's very complicated and there's a lot of steps to it. That's why you're paying for that quality, because they do the quality control, they do all the little bits that you don't go on behind the scenes, and all you're paying for is their work, the work of the bees. You know, it also supports, because bee populations have been on a steep decline since we've started using chemical pesticides and stuff, especially to the reliance we do these days, and it's really unfortunate. Local bees, so you've got like native solitary bees, their populations plummet, and to be honest with you, honey takes away from the native varieties of bees, because we bring these, they tend to be European varieties of honeybee, we bring these in, and they produce the honey for us, which is great, and we can use that and eat that. However, it's at the expense of the natural populations of bees that don't produce honey, they just simply pollinate. Solitary bees, a few thousand solitary bees can actually replace a hive of 100,000 honeybees, because they're that much more effective at pollinating. They don't just like pick certain flowers and, you know, just go for all the nectar and stuff. They just bomb between every flower they can find. Anything that smells like nectar and pollen, they're just going bounce, and they pollinate so much more effectively. And we really need to try and it's difficult to make a global change on these sorts of things, because governments are very happy to keep using these harsh chemicals that just destroy the fundamentals of our environment. Bees are at the absolute backbone. They're the foundation. They keep all the plants happy. They, you know, they're a very important part of a lot of all ecosystems, other than marine ones. Great. So bees don't go underwater. Doesn't mean we should be spraying fields with loads of chemicals. Thus concludes today's video. I hope that's been informative. I don't think I've missed much. Yeah, that's all about honey. Do you know what? No, I have missed something. I'm going to talk about how to incorporate it in your diet. So it can be as easy as just having a spoon of the stuff. I really enjoy honey. I like the taste of it. You know, I happily will just spoon away at it. Not ridiculous amounts, but if I want some, I'll have some. I put it in my coffee. I don't have milk in my coffee, so I'll just have an Americano. You know, strain it in the little cafetiere, pour it out, put a couple scoops of honey in, make it nice and sweet, and that's how I have my coffee. You know, when I have oats, I put it in my oats. You can have it on. One I really like is I'll have like nuts and seeds between my breakfast and my dinner. This is what I'm doing at the moment. I think I'm going to do some separate videos on my diet and how my diet has changed, and all about like various ways of optimizing your diet. Anyhow, what I was getting onto is, if you get a bowl of nuts and seeds, you just cover it in honey, mix it all up. You know, it makes those healthy nuts and seeds even better, taste better. You know, there's more beneficial compounds in there from the honey. It's an all-round win. You can put honey in a lot of things. I do believe you can even, you know, if you want to make like honey chicken, or like you make your own homemade sauces and things, all sorts of things you can do with honey just to get it in your diet. As I say, you can put it on your skin. I'm going to be trying that and let you know how I do. I might get some before and after pictures. Yeah. overall, bottom line, honey is excellent for your health and supporting local people around you. It's really a win-win. But thank you for watching, and you'll see me in the next one.